Today, I would like to have the 23rd lecture, and the title is Cosmic Law and Swedenborg's Visit of the Afterworld. Quite a lot of universes get together to mold a group of universes, and the reincarnation, as well as the law of cause and effect, is the universal law. Swedenborg was a great person, and he was excellent in the field of not only science, but spirituality. Especially, he was excellent in the astral projection, and he wrote a book called Swedenborg's Spiritual Book, after he visited the astral world many times and met lots of persons there. This is the Swedenborg's Spiritual Book. 나는 영계를 다녀왔다. This book. 나는 영계를 다녀왔다. And this book, 천국과 지옥, the heaven and hell, has the same contents, just like the book I showed before. Well, let's continue to mention the contents following the last week's lesson. However, in my opinion, the absolutum, which has universes as many as 49 times 10, is not the end of the number of the universes, but it is the starting point. Perhaps there is the great absolutum, which has the absolutums as many as several tens of times, and also great absolutum, which has the great absolutums as many as several tens of times, etc., which continues to the number that's nearly unimaginable with our calculation capacity. I imagine that this multiplying number continues to the limit of several tens of times of 10. What an astonishing fact it is. When we think of the universe in this way, we can think that the universe we live in is just one of the innumerable and nearly infinite number of 황하사, as many as the number of the sand of Yellow River in China, 황하사. We need to consider several things deeply here. First of all, I have already mentioned scientists who set up a hypothetical theory that the universe is composed of 10 dimensions, and some mathematical and physical methodology was used in researching this theory. Now, let's think over it more deeply. Let's suppose that a man is born and lives until he gets old enough to think over the meaning of life, and at last he understands the reincarnation theory. Then we can have a question as to how he has led a life between this present life and the pre-life. As we live in the world of the common sense, we know that all the things in the universe follow the natural phenomena and law. Therefore, when we think of the world in between the present and afterworld, it is more natural to think that a dead person has spent the time in the environment similar to that of the earth, rather than in the light or in the darkness. Furthermore, when we think of it logically, what Jesus Christ or Buddha mentioned tells us the truth of life in general, and they recognize the existence of the afterworld quite affirmatively. Here, if we think that most of their utterance was right, except the afterworld, then it is quite contrary to the logical thinking. Why is the part of the afterworld is wrong when most of the other parts are right? It is much more natural to think that the afterworld exists. Here, we can have the most fundamental questions in most of the religion. That is, people have the following questions in general. Do the heaven and hell exist? With what basis can you say that there exists the heaven and hell, which are invisible to us? Before we consider the logical description on them, let's consider the Swedenborg's writings concerning the afterworld, which is historically famous. Second, writings of trouble to the afterworld written by Swedenborg. Swedenborg is one of the greatest persons in the Western history, and his excellent theories concerning various academic fields are said to be studied and researched even today in the Western society. He is described as a scientist, mathematician, inventor, philosopher, and a researcher on the mystic and supernatural phenomena, etc. in encyclopedia, but as he was so great a person that they say that it is quite hard to recognize all of the real faces of him in reality. After graduating Uprasa University, he worked as an engineer in the Ministry of Mineral. Then he went to London to study on the theories of some noted persons in the academic field, such as physicist Newton, astronomer Halley, mathematician Ryle. After coming back to Sweden, he became the vice principal of the Royal University of Mainz. He became an authoritarian expert on mythology at last. He announced the nebula theory and became an expert of the physiology, astronomy, and he was an inventor of the salt-producing machine, pianola, submarine, and airplane. As his academic achievement was so great that after 141 years of his death, the Sweden Academy came to London to carry his corpse to London, to Sweden in 1908. And it is said that he was the model of Faust's greatest novel, Faust. His ability of talking with the souls of dead persons or of clairvoyance was very hard for general persons to understand. But Kant, you know very well, Kant, a noted philosopher, published a book named Trauma eines Geisters, Seers, 영계 여행자의 꿈, Trauma eines Geisters, Seers. And so it is out of question to believe in his supernatural capacity. Especially the book titled 나는 영계를 다녀왔다. This is the book 나는 영계를 다녀왔다. Probably I have seen the afterworld. The title of this book is I have seen the afterworld. But I think that this title may not be right, because the exact title, English title, is not in this book. So this is the title of my own writing. So, translated by Hajegi, seems to tell us that the contents of this book seem to change our thought from, oh, it seems to be true, to, it must be true. For he said publicly, what I said on the basis of the knowledge, what I said was on the basis of the knowledge that I acquired visiting the afterworld in person, or the knowledge that I acquired in the process of coming in contact with the souls living there. I think that all the following facts are appropriate enough to ascertain his maintenance, and so I decided to introduce it to you here. The following sentences are extracted ones from the book 나는 영계를 다녀왔다, this book. I have watched the afterworld. The next theme is, how did I travel to the afterworld? Here I means Swedenborg. Swedenborg was an excellent spirit-competent person, and he used the method of the projection of the astral body. In other words, his body was on the bed when his soul traveled through the afterworld. And during that time, his body looked like a dead body. And the next thing, where does the spirit of a dead person stay after death? After death, a person's soul stays around his dead body, and after some time, one or two envoys from the afterworld accompanies him to the fourth dimensional afterworld. The first place where the soul goes to is the preliminary spirit world, and this place is the one where a newly entered spirit recognizes or understands that he was dead, and his present body is not the third dimensional body, but a genuine astral body. When he understands his present situation as an astral body, he goes to the heaven or the hell. The preliminary spiritual world is an astonishingly wide world, and there are mountains, rivers, the sea, and all the things that exist on the earth. Once a spirit comes into this preliminary world, he resumes the original and genuine spirit or soul. What is the original or genuine soul? It can be said to be the naive and genuine or clear mind when a person drops deeply into the pacific state of meditation at midnight. When a person comes to the afterworld, the shape of his face changes considerably because of this reason. And even when whole members of a family come into it, each member of it goes to a group which is appropriate for each person. And after that, they never meet again.